We're going to run through the players while they start their bans off. For the side of Team XLNC, we've got Experiment 626. Oh, wait, no, we're going to run through that once we know the players. I got confused because I ran it slightly differently when I was doing the C-LOL stuff on the Saturday, which, if you aren't aware of, guys, I will be trying to regularly shoutcast some collegiate League of Legends on Saturdays. So if you've got some free time, Saturday afternoons, feel free to drop by on the stream. And yes, I am. So we're going to have some college games we're going to be running on Saturdays. We're still going to keep our Tuesday and Thursday schedule as per normal. And yeah, things are going to be pretty cool and interesting. Bans are some classics of the Lucian and Karthus, but some high priority, high power picks like the Lissandra, the Silas, Kane, one of those interesting champions that I believe it was last Tuesday was played almost every single game of the night. Some to great success, some to not so much great success. But either way, we've gotten the Urgot banned as well, which means I'm going to highly guess a Sion is going to be played this game as he's one of the top tier top laners at the moment in the game. We'll see if that's where it gets locked in, as the first pick is going to be the Sejuani. It won't let me share, but it's the 6-month Subversary Tier 3. Cody going on 6 months of Tier 3 sub. That is insane. And Jana, how are you doing tonight? My joy whenever Jana shows up and hangs out in the stream cannot compare to, I don't know, it's about comparable to Cody. Tier 3 sub for 6 months, that is insane. Cody, there's a reason why you're Splendid Dad. You really, really support excellency and everything that's going on there. As we get Nuez locking in the Sivir, as I Am Trickster grabs the Ivern for the jungle. So we've already got the ADC and jungler locked in for Team CXC. Interesting choice of that Ivern. Even though he is fairly strong, he can be counterpicked fairly squishy, not a good duelist, and really relies heavily on the CC that Daisy brings. So we'll see what jungler, which it might be the Sejuani. Sejuani might be top lane as well, so things could be around. Oh, Jana's drinking. What are you drinking, Jana? That's a good question. Cody, why are you dying? You can't die. Sugar daddies never die.
Now?
Hey, Smartest, you are live. We get to see your beautiful face. If only we could all be as sexy as you. As Karma and Zoe, the final 2 picks for that first round pick for Team XLNC. Zoe, one of the more aggressive roles, at least when it comes to the LCS and LEC. She's been picked quite a lot. People seem to really enjoy the burst damage that she can bring, as Ornn locked in for CXC. I love Ornn, even though I don't know that he's the best S-tier champion right now in the game.
Just before this game started, I was actually running some 1v1s with Nuez, and I was playing Ornn and beating him with it.
Oh,
so I love seeing him pick it here.
So he says, hey, hilarious. I got my butt kicked by Ornn, so let me go ahead and grab him. I also like that Sion ban from CXC.
Disagree with the Sion ban, actually.
Okay, go ahead.
Ornn actually, in my opinion, does really well into Sion, because even if Sion tries to charge up his Q against you, Ornn can just use his flame to just walk into Sion and get the brittle auto off. That's actually completely broken.
It's pretty OP, but you have to remember as well that Sion is one of those champions that can scale later stages of the game. It's not so much your power in the early game, it's your ultimates for the engage later on. But there are ways to counter, and one of them is you just stand in front of him. And if you're a super tanky boy like Ornn, maybe that's what you do, is you say, come on, Sion, go ahead and charge in. That's fine, I'll be here waiting for you when you get here. As Jinx, the second ban from CXC, probably going to see another support. There it is, the Braum and the Zyra banned away by Team XLNC, pinching that bottom lane pool.
Yeah, so it looks like Red Team is actually looking for a Protect the AD carry composition. So I'm curious to see the Zyra ban come down, because the fact that I already have Ivern and Ornn says, okay, we're going to play around Sivir. So I think banning away something more passive, like nice, I like the long pick, but something like maybe like a
Morgana
ban or something like that. Exactly. The Ornn could be flex, like we have Crazy Roy saying in chat. Ornn support, it could very possibly be Ornn support. They could flex it, see what they take, and look for a counter pick in either the support matchup or the top lane matchup.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, I was going to say for supports, Morgana, she's not only passive, but she has a good catch potential, giving somebody with that Dark Binding time for Ivern's Daisy to get the knock-up CC. There's a lot of good stuff, plus her spell shield can kind of double up against Sivir's own spell shield, and basically, forget any spells, you're never going to land them on Sivir, or if you land them, it's not going to affect her at all, as Hurricane's the new ADC for the side of Excellency. This is his premier showing for this team. Excited to see how he does and how he lines up as Applause. What? This is new. Wait, unless it's Karma support.
No, it's Maokai. I played
Karma support.
He took Maokai in the GA tournament last weekend as well, top lane.
This
and also, funnily enough,
go ahead.
Good. No, I was going to say Hurricanes. Actually, I played on the same team as Hurricanes all of end of 2018. So actually, I know him quite well. And like I said, the Morgana, like we were talking about, the Morgana's way better in the situation for Red Team.
It's almost like we're analysts or something. I don't know. So with the switching around, I did want to say that I was surprised that Applause grabbed the Maokai if she was going to play him. You talked about how I was going to switch it out. Experiment 626 has played him before. But even still, Karma is not something we've seen Applause play before. She mainly focuses on like Nami and those slightly more passive champions, but are very good at disengage. Karma is one of those interesting champions. She can be played semi-passively, but she can also be played heavily aggressive. Her poke early game with those mantra Qs can be oppressive. And with the hyper spell shields coming out from CXC's bottom lane, interested in see how Applause decides to play this Karma, whether it's for the poke game, try to chunk him out, or whether it's something more passive and says, I'm just going to be dropping those shields on Ezreal, making sure that he can lane safely. But let's go ahead and roll through the players and their champions, and then we'll let you get to analyzing these two teams' compositions. For the side of Team Excellency, we've got Experiment 626 with the Maokai in the top lane, Mike Oxmal Bros with the Sejuani in the jungle, Demonius the God on the Zoe in the mid lane, Hurricanes with Ezreal in the AD carry role, Applause picking up Karma for the support.
For Team Why Are You Running, we have Nuez on the Ornn, Haim Strixer on Ivern, AR actually AFK on LeBlanc, Twitch TV J Justify on Sivir, and Mucho Gosu on the Morgana.
Fantastic. Go ahead. What are your thoughts on these compositions?
So I think as far as Team Excellency goes, I don't know how much I like the draft phase for them so far. So the reason being is because they have a very powerful frontline. They have Maokai, Sejuani, and they also have Karma to use their Mantra Shield to sort of beef everyone up even more. But they don't necessarily have super high continuous damage. They have Zoe, who has a lot of burst and kind of a pick champion, and they have Ezreal, who can put down a lot of damage, but it's not something like a Jinx or a Vayne or a Sivir or something along those lines that can put down high amounts of crit-based damage continuously. Whereas on Team Why Are You Running, they have a sort of protect the AD carry comp. They don't have as beefy of a frontline because they only have Ornn up there, but they also have Ivern, who's very good at peeling and playing support for the AD carry, and they have Morgana, who can walk up and look for the Dark Bindings. But Sivir late game will put down tons of damage with her W. Yeah. So I think composition-wise, I like Why Are You Running, but those Zoe Sleepy Trouble Bubbles can really disrupt things.
Right, and that's the thing, is it's almost like a catch composition from Excellency when they have that ultimate from the Sejuani, as well as Sleepy Time from Zoe. Ezreal also really good at being able to snipe people down with his Mystic Shot of his Q. Karma can even try to snare someone up with her Root. So there's the opportunities to make plays. What I'm seeing from both teams, though, is when it comes to those carry roles, they have to carry and carry hard. Because if LeBlanc and Sivir don't get ahead, if they get just shut down by Sejuani, ganking from the jungle, or just can't find a CS lead that gives them an item advantage, as the mid-game gets around those 5v5s and objectives, they can just not deal enough damage to really do anything in the fights. And same can be said for Excellency. If Zoe or Ezreal get really shut down, or it takes forever for Ezreal's 2 items to really come online and him to start dealing some heavy damage, it could just kind of be tanks versus tanks and a little bit of support thrown in there for good measure, and whichever team does have the lead is going to have a much nicer time. And in the game style where the meta currently sits at whoever's got a lead can snowball that lead a lot easier, taking plates, getting those neutral objectives. I'm really interested in seeing which team comes out when it comes to lane priority. So talk through for a second the bottom lane and mid lane specifically for these carries. What lane priorities do these have? Which one's going to be pushing heavier, potentially taking some pressure leads?
So as far as mid lane goes, it depends how much they spam their abilities. Zoe's pretty good at clearing waves if she spams Q quite a bit, like uses it more for like wave clear purposes. LeBlanc has decent wave clear where they're distortion, but kind of struggles a little bit, I feel, as though in the early game. So Zoe can take prio if Zoe wants to take prio. So it depends, how they sort of play that mid lane. But LeBlanc has a lot more kill threat in the Zoe lane. Bot lane's kind of interesting because although, we were talking about the Morgana pick for a Team Wire you're running, with the Karma pick on Applause, they can actually pop that Black Shield pretty quick. So I don't know if Karma's able to pop the Black Shield before the CC is able to land. It could spell a lot of trouble for Sivir or Morgana, because they can just focus down the Morgana. They can say, you know what, Sivir has her spell shield. We don't need to get her. Let's just grab the Morgana. We'll pop the Black Shield, get the CC down, and we'll look pretty good. However, the one thing about Sivir Morgana is they can just play super safe and just push up the wave and play back. So it depends how aggressive they choose to play this bot lane.
And that's actually the key with Ezreal as well. He's one of those champions that can kind of just focus on farm for a while, stay back with arcane shifts, keep him very safe. But ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first game of the night. Team XLNC versus CXC, or what is it, the name that you keep saying? I miss it.
Oh, Team Wire. No. I'm sorry. That's a different name they go by. They're probably known. This is probably known by Team CXC.
All right. Well, CXC it is for this game in particular, as we see a 5-man potential invade from CXC. They've redirected. They're not going through the bottom lane tri-bush. Instead, they're going to collect here Morgana Dark Binding, one of those excellent early game spells, being able to catch people out. We see Braum also be favored for a team to try to make an invade. They got here. There's no vision. However, Karma will see them, catch them with the Q. We're going to get flash forward. The Dark Binding still lands with the double flash. The triple flash as Ivern's going to root them down. They're going and try and find the kill onto Applause. She's knocked out and gone. First blood to Ornn, and that is only 2 assists for the team, but they still were able to secure that early kill.
Yeah, and they did get the flash from Morgana there, though. Sorry, from Karma there, though. They have Ignite. That's pretty worth, I'm gonna say.
Yeah, flash ignite, flash burn from CXC, but they set that Ornn pretty far ahead, as Zoe's gonna get a little bit of paddle star poke against Nuez as he wanders his way to the top side. Interesting choice not to back, especially considering that early game could. Oh, that's true. He could just build himself a pair of boots in lane. Didn't really think about that. Didn't really think about that, but yeah, that's the smart stuff. That I would have been like, oh, I got first blood, time for me to back, but nope. Obviously, Nuez knows Ornn well enough to say, hey, I'm just gonna walk to lane. So as you're talking about this mid lane, I want to see whether Zoe's using those paddle star Qs to clear wave or try to poke LeBlanc out.
And just out of curiosity, what time are you at right now?
1:59, 2, 2:01,
Perfect.
2:02, 2:03. Okay, cool.
I just want to make sure we had all that sorted out beforehand. All right. All right, so you just see like they're playing kind of back here. Oh, they're getting a lot of good damage down onto Justify here.
I'm making a tweet post, so feel free to fill in for a second.
No, here, and this is like, I personally think that Ornn is just really, really strong right now. You see him just out trading the Maokai without even thinking too hard about it. Though he does have that extra Ruby Crystal, which might also be a heavy part of that. Q max on Ornn is actually so strong right now. Because if you max W, the only thing that happens is you increase the damage from the Flame Strike itself. It doesn't actually change the cooldown or anything like that on him. So whereas maxing Q actually reduces the cooldown, and the brittle damage, the percent health brittle damage is just so strong. You already have Maokai sitting at under 200 HP. Force pop his second corruption potion, though. You do see Sejuani. Look, Mike Oxmal's looking for the gank here.
Coming to the top side as Extreme 66 too low. Nuez flashes in for the outer, finish him off. He may give his own life over. That red buff going to slow Ornn down enough that he can't get back underneath the turret. He will go down. Sejuani taking a tower shot for her efforts, but still trade of kills on the top side.
I think after that, though, Maokai's really going to struggle in lane here.
Oh, Mucho Gusto in the bottom lane. Going to be dropped. Applause is able to secure the kills. Hurricanes might be in trouble. A couple more auto attacks as the Ivern comes in for the backside. They want to finish up the Sivir before that happens. So double kill to Applause, playing a beautiful Karma. Ezreal cannot get out in time, so it is still traded 1-for-1, but that is support for an AD carry. That is absolutely worth any time of day or night. And technically, they also got the support, so it's a 2-for-1 as Team Excellency will even up the kills across the board.
Unfortunately for them, both the kills went to Karma. So kills are kills, but I think having those kills in Ezreal would have swung the tide of that bot lane a little bit more.
Yeah, as the AD carry, you definitely want that, and even more so as an Ezreal who wants to get his 2 items up. That will be super critical. However, that said, Karma, as we talked about, one of those poking champions, will make some use of it, better than some champions like, say, a Braum, who can only get tankier.
Right. No, definitely. She can take that lead and look to abuse it through some AP shenanigans.
Right, we will check very briefly on the first Drake of the game is going to be that Ocean Drake. So, one of those great Drakes to have in laning phase. Better to take it early than later. We'll see if either team decides to try to rush it down. Neither
How do you
of
check
these junglers...
Drake
I literally just click
spectator?
over. I literally just click over. Yeah,
Gotcha,
I prefer when the camera's in the bottom lane to kind of do one of those slide over to check it. Or just, if I'm really good and not making tweets at the same time, I can actually catch it with the corner of my eye when the camera's around it, as we got a fight in the bottom lane, starting to break out a little bit. Morgana stepping forward. Mucho Gusto going to be helping Ivern for the gank, coming around from behind once again, but Morgana's in trouble. She's low health, but Applause's health drops faster, and that is going to be the Karma going down second time this game. After that first early game kill, 626 might be in trouble. The Horn a Horn. However, the nice route from Maokai to avoid the knockup. Are you kidding me? 626, what a play.
Yeah, that was really good. Nuez needed to back up a little bit there to be out of that W range before throwing that in. I'm at 56, 57, 58. Are you at the same time as me? Seem a little behind.
I'm 602, 603, 604 as the fight's breaking out in the bottom lane. Mike Ox tries to make a play, but he's all alone, so not going to get much, and just set the recalls of those 2 bottom laners for a CXC, as I'll keep counting it up. 616, 617, 18,
yep.
19.
All right, I just slowed down a little bit for you.
Cool. Yeah, I think my computer might have been slightly overwhelmed by all the amazing plays going on, so it's just had a little bit of a breather. We don't call lag here. Go ahead.
We don't call it lag. No, we don't lag here. No. So talking a little about the game though, this is like what I really like to see out of the CXC team right now is that they know their win condition. Their jungler's saying, okay, we are playing protect the AD carry comp. What does that mean? Get the AD carry ahead. So you just see Heim Trickster just repeat yanking the bot lane. I mean, it definitely helps that Ornn has a lead in the top lane, but I think even if they were even topside, you would still see Trickster looking to play through bot lane because it says, okay, Sivir is the win condition. All I need to do is repeat gank bot, get the Sivir ahead.
And while LeBlanc is losing out in the minions in the mid lane, she's also not dying a bunch to the Zoe, which means that LeBlanc, one of those champions, even if she gets shut down a little bit, somewhat like a Kassadin, when it comes to that 20-minute mark, she's still insanely powerful and can hop in, burst some unexpected opponent down. And that is going to make it even more critical for the side of Excellency to keep their vision game up. They want to have eyes on where this LeBlanc roams to. They want to know where they're trying to make those plays, because we've had that Ivern gank twice in the bottom lane, as you said. 3 kills total on that bottom side. They might need to up their vision game a little bit, as they're going to lose a control ward here. There were some people from Excellency around the Ocean Drake. They're not going to go for it, though. Instead, back away. Zoe once again trying to push that wave in the mid lane.
Yeah, so as far as the Zoe versus LeBlanc matchup goes, once LeBlanc hits, get finished. Actually, even now she's.
Ivern coming in, but Sejuani going to respond as well. The chains come down onto Sejuani. She's pretty tanky though, up to about half health, forced to flash away from the dark binding of Morgana. Mucho Guso not going to be able to help out
Gosu.
much and will walk away. This Hole and Karma is also roamed up here. This actually leaves Sivir alone time in the bottom side. She can take away a plate as we get a little bit of 1v1 fight on the top side. Ornn versus Maokai. We'll see which one of these behemoths can knock some sense into the other one. It's Tree versus Hammer. Who's gonna win? The Thor horn is called, and Maokai roots him up as well, so he can't even knock the Ram away. However, Experiment 66 has the minion wave, the slam from the Ornn. Gonna set things up well. He's even gonna get the knockup as well. Brittle stacked, smash him down. Hammer comes out victorious.
I don't know if he was. I don't know if I'd say that he missed that ult because of the root.
I think he said, I'm not worried about the ultimate. I'm just going to keep going in and smashing away.
Yeah.
Wait,
That's
catching the bottom
what
lane. This is going to be the engage onto Sivir. The spell shield keeps her alive for the moment from the Morgana, but it's not going to be enough. Nice ultimate out of the Ezreal to chunk her down. They can pick up the kill. It does go once again onto the Sejuani, which means Ezreal's still sitting at 3 assists and no kills, but they did pick up one back in the bottom side.
I think it was a little bit over-aggressive from JJ's fight there, knowing that Ivern was not anywhere nearby to push into the tri-bush for provision. Oh, the Sleepy Trouble bubble landing.
Alright, so the Ocean Drake has been started up by Team XLNC. That maybe they're feeling a little bit desperate. The pressure is starting to mount. They're losing out in the kills, and the Ornn is doing a fantastic job on this top side. So they do successfully pick it up. The CXC forced to kind of back away as they had just lost their Sivir, and the Morgana got chunked out. So good roam and move by the side of Team XLNC. Picks up the first strike of the game.
And Ocean's also really nice when you have two teams that are playing Protect the AD Carry comp, because all you're trying to do is stall the game out. So having Ocean in your pocket where you can spam and abuse abilities more is really, really helpful.
Karma able to get out as the Sivir threw her boomerang in the wrong pocket of the brush. Might have been enough, I think. The recall still had a couple seconds on it, but either way, Karma able to get back to the base. But again, that's going to give Sivir some free time on that bottom lane turret, and that means plates, and that means gold. They're going to secure at least one plate. They're going for a second one. They've got the minion wave dropping low. I don't think they'll get it though before Karma shows up, helping to clear that minion wave and push it back out.
I think Nuez is struggling a bit with the Ornn kit at the moment. I'm seeing a lot of whips coming in.
Sleepy time used onto the Blanc in the mid lane. She flashes away. The Sejuani does not have her ultimate up available yet. The flash forced out on that Zoe, so she's going to getting back to the base as her ultimate flies on by, saying hi. We're going to go bye-bye. Haha, alliteration for the win. As Daisy is called and dropped in the mid lane, so a lot of action, but no kills. Both teams still kind of testing what their opponents have.
So I like these roams coming out of Mucho Gosu here, but it's costing him a lot of XP. You see him down 2 levels on Claws here on Karma. Doesn't have ult just yet. It's going to hurt a lot for these fights.
Oh, the engage. Will it be enough? Find out here as Ivern finds the route onto Hurricanes. He's got to get over the wall, but can't in time. Sivir able to pick up a kill on one. Demonius the God also on the run. I don't know that Zoe's going to be able to get away. She gets to the blast cone, hops over the wall. The flash used by Nuez trying to secure a knockup. Can't get it, so they are able to get the Zoe out in time. We're going to flash this forward, flash for flash. 626 responding in turn to get back to the mid lane safely. Nuez, the giant Ornn, going to soak up some damage from the Zoe as they start up a siege here in the mid lane.
I think they need to look for one plate and then look towards Rift here for Team CXC.
Over the wall, Sejuani is available. She throws out the ultimate. She's going to catch on to Trickster. The Ivern's dropping low. He might be secured up. Ignited. Experiment 626 will pick it up with the ultimate as they're going to turn now onto Nuez. Lock him down. Pick him up as well. The CC chain from Excellency is just too good.
Yeah, and also, most people in Team CXC, they were pretty Morgana had no mana, Ornn had no mana. I don't think Ivern had too much mana there either. So I think they needed to just look for one plate and then back off immediately. Also, they had no vision in the jungle, which is really crucial when you want to set up a siege. If they want to pull the same siege again, I'd like to see them drop some wards into the Raptor Pit.
Yeah.
And then ideally one around the banana side, the top side of mid lane as well.
They're slightly ahead, but it's plays like that that can put you behind. You can check very quickly. This one ward that they dropped when they were playing around the Drake pit, picked up the Ezreal, wasn't able to secure the Zoe. As the Ivor going to be found out again. He's terribly squishy, but Daisy's going to come in ganking. Not going to be enough. Make it 2v1 as Zoe came in, not only for the help, but also the kill secure.
Yeah, and this is sort of the thing. The damage amplification from CP Treble Bubble, that Paddle Star is going to hit you for a lot of damage. As you saw, Ivern's health bar just disappear.
Well, and this is, again, what we talked about at the beginning. The catch potential from XLNC is really nice. True, they lost the fight around the Ocean Drake, but that was when CXC was grouped as 5. They came to the mid lane. They tried to back away. Woo! Applause. Getting a little dancer feet going on. Avoids some of the damage of LeBlanc and has lived enough to get back to the fountain. But, as I was saying, there was a grouped 5 CXC. They picked up 1. They rotated to the mid. They got a plate. They were backing away, and it was the stragglers that were picked up and cleaned up. As then afterwards, the Ivern is discovered in the jungle, and between Sejuani and Zoe, they're able to find a kill there as well. So the catching is starting to come online. We'll see if XLNC can cast a big enough net, though, to really turn the game in their favor, as things are fairly even at the moment.
Although that bot lane tower is on its last leg there for blue team.
And that would be first turret gold if the side of CXC are able to secure it. Karma has joined Ezreal, which should make that a little bit more difficult if she's got some pretty good wave clear. LeBlanc trying to hop in onto Zoe. She comes back from the ultimate, and that positioning will be enough. Demodius is still alive, but the final auto attack comes through, and actually AFK secures one in the mid lane. Sejuani a little bit too late as Morgana going to start things up in the bottom lane. A root and an ultimate, and a Sivir boomerang says Ezreal, go back to the gray screen. We're also going to secure first turret, and that sets us once again at 1,000 gold lead. Ivern trying to make some plays in the enemy team's jungle, maybe get some vision down. Locked up and CC'd for the moment. However, Sejuani will decide to back away. Karma still playing forward aggressively as the camera keeps switching to these top laners who just continue to harass each other. Yeah,
so as far as the top lane matchup goes there, what's interesting is that in that fight that happened in mid lane, Experiment 66 picked up 2 kills, one of them being the shutdown gold on Nuez. So that really let him catch back up quite a bit in this matchup.
Right, the Ocean Drake started dropping low. We'll see if Mycox can steal it away. He cannot! And that means that Sejuani is in trouble. She's waiting around for Boar Rush to come back available so she can hop over the wall, but I think she CC'd for way too long. And actually pick up yet another kill as Nuez is losing out on a couple of those trades. She's going to set him running away, giving lane pressure to the Maokai for now.
Nuez is definitely struggling to connect some of his skill shots here. Getting some good brittle damage down, but
he is winning out in farm, though. You look at that farm difference, 25 minions is pretty darn nice. That can even replace a couple of kills that he is not lacking in either, leading his team in kills as well. But
actually, I think 66 is starting to close the CS gap, because I think it was around 35 earlier. So kudos to 66 for losing lane, managing to find the plays to start closing that gap a little bit.
Oh, a nice rotation.
Tier 1 mid goes down.
From XLNC. They lose the Dragon, tying the game up at 2 Ocean Drakes there. However, because of the backing from CXC, they say it's fine. We'll just pick up your mid lane turret and trade. And now they're trying to make a roam towards this top side. Hurricane stepping forward, landing a Mystic Shot onto Morgana. We'll see that's enough. Dark Binding comes through onto the Zoe, but she just, once again, ults her way to safety. For now, we've got the bottom laners from CXC holding out on this top side, but it's all 5 members of XLNC hanging around.
They need to run here. They need to just completely back off. And I think they know it.
Mucho Guso is still hanging around a little bit. Justify as well around the corner.
I think it's Mucho Guso.
Alright, so it looks like they're just going to take a little bit of plate or turret damage as there's no longer any plates. We crested that 14-minute mark by a little bit of a margin. Moving on to the turret itself. Sivir and Morgana playing very defensively, very back. Keep in mind, though, that's giving Orin some free time on this bottom side to start chipping away on that turret. LeBlanc not quite able to shove a wave into Maokai, who's hanging in that mid lane.
Yeah, I like how Team XLNC is starting to play around this rift heavily. I think that's exactly what they need to do. I think that CXC is to respond by doing the same thing. You see that Team XLNC has a beautiful vision line set up. If I were on Team CXC here, I would want to start pushing up on some of that and regaining some of that vision control, which is exactly what they're doing right now.
So both
I like to see
teams
this.
kind of playing smart, playing wise. It's Excellency what had the position, had the control, but decided not to stick with the Rift Herald. They're trying to play a little bit more safe. They wanted to back and buy items for the gold they got from that top lane turret. But that means they may give away Rift Herald, as Daisy has been spawned. 4 members of CXC hanging around. Ezreal taking a little bit of chunk damage. LeBlanc trying to catch Zoe. Albakarma's there to try to shield away. Daisy dropping low, not quite out yet. The Ornn Horde has been called. Who will it hit? Ornn's going to knock up the Ezreal, but they find the kill on Sejuani. They also get the Rift Herald, and it looks like Excellency is going to lose out left, right, and center. Can they find the kill onto LeBlanc? The clone has been popped. Will it be enough? That shield comes through, keeping Ezreal alive. And now the Ornn has to run route onto Demonius. The Zoe to be shut down here. She's dropped low. Can't get out. Will go down. Maokai now in the middle of 3 members. Karma, the support, hanging off to the side. Gets knocked up by Ornn. Morgana throws out the Dark Binding. Will miss. Maokai is a tanky boy. It's tree versus tree. But they've also brought some extra members to the party, and 626 has to run, flashing away, trying to get back to his own mid lane. He's still CC'd in the meantime. Sivir's been pushing that top side. 626 is still alive until Ezreal shows up, and that will finally cause CXC to start to back away. And Maokai says, no, you're not going away, and goes down for his own efforts. Will it be enough to secure one? The flash from Nuez, the flash for Sejuani to respond in turn. And Mycock secures his 3rd of the game, ending that teamfight as Sivir is still freely pushing this top lane.
I liked the play from Nuez there to not greed her Hurricanes, but instead pull back and rotate onto the Maokai. I think that was a really good play there. I also think that Mycock going in there didn't seem great at first, but really came out on top because of the pathing that Team CXC took there. Kind of splitting apart, Mike was able to flash onto Nuez there and secure that kill. However, all in all, I think that was still heavily favored in CXC's favor because they did get the Rift. And with Rift, they're able to break the Tier 1 mid. The one advantage that Team Excellency has over CXC right now is that they've already broken the Tier 1 mid. So setting the Vision Line deeper is not as much of an issue. And it is an Infernal Drake spawn too, so see how that plays out. TP is available on Nuez.
Yep, who's immediately going to start it, coming to this bottom side, but Karma's already been caught and gone, and the catch game seems to be in favor of CXC. A 626 is going to be caught in trouble, throws out the ultimate. The Root's not going to be able to do that much, just running off to the side, seeing if she can make anything happen as the team moves forward, wanting to steal away the Infernal Drake. Ezreal picks up Sivir with the help of the Infernal, who's beaten away up on Ivern, as the Zoe going to be in trouble, goes down. Trickster able to secure one Dark Fighting onto Ezreal. Arcane Shift safe for the moment. The Ornn trying to get in range to do anything. Daisy still pounding away, dealing damage. LeBlanc alive and bounces in only to her own demise. Maokai slays her where she stands and is still alive with his own passive healing, which is insane. All of these spells. The root comes through from Ivern, which means it's time to go for Ornn. He can't be CC'd in time though, so he's able to secure a kill onto Sejuani. The re-engage from Maokai once again. Karma back alive after having fallen at the beginning of the fight, chasing down Trickster. Ivern gonna flash the wall, trying to get back away from Karma, who says, come back here. Oh, I've got a root for you. Secures that kill with the help of, wait, hold on, he smites the dragon. The Ignite takes away. He's got a shield. Trickster can't get away from the Infernal Drake, though, and will go down. What a play. But at the end of the day, Excellency win out as they continue to move forward. Wait, hold on. Sivir's respawn. She's back, finishes off the Ezreal, goes in, needs one more attack to finish off Flaw's shield, keeps her alive against the Infernal Drake. Has probably done as much damage as any of these champions have. The Infernal Drake will reset once again. And wait, okay, Excellency is still going to stick around. They're wanting to find this Infernal no matter what. Both teams getting those recalls in. LeBlanc and Orn coming back from the base. The Infernal is still alive. That's going to be started by XLNC once more, but they have to play this just right, or else they could lose everything they've fought so hard for this game. The Orn Horn's called. We'll see where it lands. It'll just pass right through everybody between the gates as LeBlanc is doing what she can to get in. Ivern steals away the Infernal Drake. No, wait, Sejuani secured it. What? Ivern...
No, he summoned Rift. He summoned Rift.
Oh, he summoned the Rift Herald in the mid lane. That's what I saw. It's justified. Dropped 6-2-6, so they lose one. They get the Infernal Drake, but the Rift Herald's going to have slow going in that mid lane as he's got an entire wave to chew through until CXC shows up trying to speed the process along to get to that mid lane turret.
How are your lungs feeling?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm fine.
That was like a 4-minute fight right there.
I got confused. I saw Ivern, all right? I saw the Ivern notification. My brain immediately translated it to Ivern somehow got the Drake. I was so confused. Trust me, I as a caster was confused. I was like, how did Ivern get it when he wasn't even here at the fight? As the Shelly will knock down mid lane turret, drop to the second turret as well. They've secured 2 turrets. They haven't quite find the kill on to the Zoe just yet. Health bars low for the side of XLNC. They're back, hiding underneath that inhibitor turret. The re-engage from everyone, though, hopping forward, trying to do what damage they can on the way out. But they can't find the catches they found earlier. And again, their health bars are still on the lower side, so they need to be safe. 626, however, says, I'm not concerned about it. I'm tanky. Redemption used to reset those health bars. And I think the fighting has finally calmed down for a moment.
Right, so Ezreal Hurricanes did finish that Muramana, so his Qs are starting to do a lot more damage. You see the second tier coming down for Saras. Looks like it's going for the double tier this game. And you see Wivey coming down.
Oh, 626 in trouble once again. Caught out with none of his team behind him. This has happened again and again. And actually, a really, really rough thing to watch. Demonius might be caught out now. The Zoe trying to run away from Orn, who's re-engaging, keeping the thing alive, keeping the fight alive. As Zoe will be dropped. The thing, keeping the thing alive. And then that
Gotta
thing
keep the thing alive.
Killing your opponents. 19 kills to 13. And again, team fight won by the side of CXC with that impressive grouping power. Which means they could try to go for the Baron. Ronnie's still alive though, so that might be just getting some vision control.
So that passive on Orn letting him upgrade an ally's item, I believe he needs one more level before he can upgrade Sivir's IE here. If I'm not mistaken. I believe it's at level 14 where he's able to start upgrading his ally's abilities. So that is one little nice buff that Orn provides to his teammates, especially when you're playing something like Protect the AD Carry comp. A little bit of bonus for free, actually. So,
yeah, he's already upgraded his own Infernal Mask for himself.
Yeah, his own items get upgraded automatically.
He upgrades for himself at 13, 14 plus he gets 1 upgrade on an ally per level.
Oh, he can't upgrade his own item before 13? It doesn't upgrade automatically?
I don't know.
I think his own items upgrade whenever automatically, but he can't give to allies until 14, if I'm not mistaken.
Either way, it's a 5,000 gold lead for CXC. And now, to be fair, XLNC has been down about 3,000 to 4,000 gold before. The last time we saw them play, things were looking pretty rough when it came to the early portion of the mid-game. However, they were able to turn things around with some good team play and overall map macro play. They were able to eventually find the win off of a Baron. But let's see if they can manage to do that this time around as both those top laners on the bottom side. There's no teleport for the Orn. Keep that in mind as the fight breaks out. And suddenly it switches to bottom lane, which we don't really care so much about. We care more about this mid lane fight. Okay, Orn Horn going to be called in the bottom side, so that means that is down. Maokai ult also down. Ult for ult being burned. I think at this point, Maokai's job is just to keep Orn busy. See if the rest of his team can handle an 4v4.
So he's backing off here because he has Warmogs. So he's trying to let his Warmogs just heal him up.
Should do just that as the Maokai gonna go ahead and start heading towards this mid lane, which they want to keep these minions away from that inhibitor turret. Baron,
so Sivir's also hitting a huge damage spike because after that last fight, Dark Binding comes out on Ezreal.
Oh, nice shield from Karma.
Can't quite finish it. But Sivir just bought Rapid Fire outright. The last fight, she was sitting on IE, Essence Reaver, and Merc Treads. And now she went back to base and instantly purchased the Rapid Fire. so she's definitely going to be doing a lot of damage as the noodle fight continues in the bot lane.
Blanc also securing 2 items. I really need to capture the video of the Ornn and Maokai and all of their just duking and play it to that.
The other 4 members of each team will finish fighting and have a kill before either of these drop to 50% HP.
Right, they do so much, and yet at the same time, they're doing so little.
Yeah. Maokai healing with his passive, and Nuez healing with the Warmogs. 626, especially because 626 has that Spirit Massage.
Oh, they're just looking for the most damage dealt at the end of the game. That's what it is. They want those cool graphic stats to show off how much damage they've done overall. The Cloud Drake secured by CXC, making those Drakes overall even in the number of Drakes. I still think that Infernal for XLNC going to help them out just a little bit more. And I'm kind of confused, actually, as to CXC's passivity when it comes to their 4 other members. They could 4-man group topside and push into the 2nd-tier turret. They could secure vision inside this top lane jungle. I mean, you see these control wards drop from XLNC, but that should be the jungle that CXC's controlling because they're the ones that actually have the current tempo of the game and item advantage.
Yes, I'd like to see Team XLNC here play around the Zoe as they were in the early game, looking for the Sleepy Turbo Bubbles and the Paddle Stars to really burst down a single target, and for Sejuani to be able to come in and finish the target off, lock them down with CC, and if needed, have Ezreal do a quick burst, because they really do. The one thing Team XLNC has is great burst. Having double tier on the Ezreal along with the True Shot Barrage, having Karma, and of course having Zoe, one of the greatest burst champions in League of Legends right now. I would like to see them keep vision control of a given area and look to just cheese it through Zoe Sleepy Trouble Bubbles.
Well, that's also where the draft comes in big from CXC. Those spell shields on the Sivir and the Black Shield from Morgana can really nullify a lot of that damage and makes it very difficult. So good drafting from them to kind of start to pick up on what XLNC's strategy was early on into the composition. Because even that Sejuani ultimate, where you think that the Glacial Prison would say, hey, free kill every time that it's up, throw it at somebody, get yourself a kill. Morgana's Black Shield can basically nullify that and say, no, we're fine. Now you have to wait for your ultimate to come back available. As with these Ivern bushes, they could catch out Sejuani. She's going to be in trouble. Goes golden for the moment. Can the team respond in time to keep this Sejuani alive? She flashes. She's alive. She's out. Daisy's chasing in, has been spawned. I think she's going to be dropped as well. We'll see if the fight continues as Maokai is alone on the bottom side. Ornn teleporting to join. No, not even TP. He just walked from the base to join his team here around the Baron. So it's currently a 4v5. LeBlanc trying to pop the Ezreal. Another arcane shift keeps him out safely.
So Sejuani does have Warmog, so she will heal back all that damage fairly quickly here. As you can see her health bar rushing to 100%.
Alright, so the Baron has been started up. Ivern dropping Brush to make sure that that vision is denied from XLNC. Even if they have the ward outside of the Baron pit, they won't get any vision. They'll just be brushes. They can't see through it. Maokai secures one turn on the bottom side. LeBlanc trying to burst this Zoe down. Hasn't been able to find her just yet. Maokai engages. There's the ultimate coming out, seeing what they can do to start this one off. He's going to go in deep. Karma's still alive on the back side. Ezreal doing what damage he can, but he's been rooted by Morgana. Will be dropped. Nuez has been able to secure that as Karma finds the LeBlanc with the ignite damage left over. Trickster going to be dropping as Nuez, the only man in the middle of 4 members, tanking everything, trying to give time for Sivir to just throw away those auto attacks off to the side, seeing if she can get any damage down. Maokai is tanky, but that is a Karma who's a bit too squishy. She's going to be dropped once again. The Ornn Horn called. It was the very beginning of the fight and still gets called once again. Finally, the Maokai drops, Justify picking up a double kill at the end of it all. Demonius has to run 2v3. And XLNC lose out one more time, but they do keep CXC off the Baron.
So that was that same sort of a protect the ADC we were talking about, where you just saw how long Justify was able to stay alive on that Sivir.
Oh, the dart fighting still hit her. No way. Duody's launching forward. He's trying to get the burst damage down. The ignite will secure the kill, but a good attempt from Demonius at turning that fight around as Hawks just into Sivir alone. Okay.
That was a great spell shield from Justify, actually. he spell shield the only ability he actually needed to spell shield.
The stun. It would have said
Correct.
maybe Sejuani can do a little bit more damage. If we got to fight in the mid lane, Nuez going to be once again the target. Ezreal ultimate going to pass through, not hit anyone. Knock up onto Applause. The Karma's in trouble with the speed. Will not save her against a little Blanc. Actually, AFK hopping in, picking up his 5th kill of the game as the top lane turret has been already secured by Justify, who's freely hitting away. Maokai trying to defend. Shield used by Ezreal, but that Seraph's Embrace keeps him alive, so he's going to get back to the fountain. But again, the base from XLNC is falling apart. Justify picks up a turret. This is what I'm talking about when it comes to lack of damage. Maokai can do nothing. Sejuani can do almost nothing. And their carries are not dealing enough damage. Demonius goes golden, trying to stay alive as Justifies once again throws down the ultimate, starting to fight off, throwing out crits, goes godlike, finishing off the Zoe, and gonna get the kill onto Maokai. There's 2 members left standing from Excellency, but they're dropping like flies. Knocked up as well. Triple kill for the Sivir. Ezra gets one back as Ornn ints onto the fountain, and applause. Or not applause, yeah, it is. Applause at Hurricanes trying to defend from the fountain. 1 Nexus turret secured by CXC. They're going to be backing away. We'll see if that's for real or if they're just waiting for the next wave to crash.
Yeah, so 626 only has Ninja Tabby and Sunfire Key. The other 2 items adaptive elements. Wow!
Yep.
Deleted.
Saw that coming once again. Dark Finding lands onto Ezra. He's going to be gone. Ladies and gentlemen, CXC finish it off with an ace, securing their victory in game number 1 of the night. Man, that game was fairly even for a lot, but towards the end, CXC seemed to just be outplaying Excellency at every turn.
Yeah, so I think that's like how we discovered in the talked about in the pick ban phase. It came down to a lot of both teams drafted to protect the ADC comp, but A, Sivir beats Ezreal in consistent teamfight damage flat out, and B, I feel as though CXC did a better job playing to their win condition. You saw Trickster playing to bot side quite a bit, whereas you saw Mike Oxmal play more towards the mid side with Zoe, which worked out well for him personally in the early game, but Sivir just started taking over the game in those fights.
Yep, and that's where even though Maokai and Ornn can kind of go head-to-head a little bit when it came to the later stages of the game, Maokai just didn't have true damage to deal, not true damage, but enough damage to deal when it came to those bigger team fights. Could tank for forever, but he needed the damage to come out from his carries. Zoe at that 17,000 mark had good burst damage when it landed, but the thing with Zoe is she needs to be finding individual picks, not be fighting in the mess of a 5v5. You can't get massive burst damage paddle stars if you're only shooting them a quarter of a screen in front of you. Ezreal, better on the poke, 33,000 damage, but at the end of the day, Sivir was cresting 40,000 damage across the board, and really, you gotta give a shout out to Nuez on this Ornn, kind of exactly what we talked about, playing the protect the comp, and said, you know what, you have to go through me to get to Sivir, and at the end of the day, just no one could get through that Ornn.
Yeah, I think that came down to a lot of the itemization as well. Ornn picked up the Warmogs and the Gargoyle, which really made a huge difference in those fights. His health bar being doubled those team fights. 626 with the adaptive and Spirit Visage. The Spirit Visage I understand, but the adaptive was basically a build specifically for the 1v1 against the Ornn, which I don't necessarily agree with as much. I think him looking for a Warmogs or a Gargoyle himself would have been a little bit better.
All right. Well, if you, as the analyst, would like to go through and give honorable mentions and MVPs, love to hear them.
Sure. So on blue side, I will have to give honorable mention to. Ooh, this is a tough one. Honorable mention. I will have to give to Hurricanes. Just because I saw him not playing super aggressive and instead understanding that, okay, I need to stay alive. and trying to play back a little bit, sort of playing to his win condition. I did see that happening quite a bit, so I'll give him the honorable mention. And the MVP, I will have to give to Applause, because she was playing really, really well in the bot lane and sort of getting them those early leads. I feel as though the other three played really well, but in particular the bot lane, being the start of the shows of the game anyway, of the draft phase, definitely played pretty well. For Team CXC, Red Team, I will give honorable mention to Jay Justify for really doing well in the Sivir and team fights, positioning well, and putting down a damage this team expected him to put down. But the MVP I'm going to have to give to Trickster 100% for getting him to that status, because he really, really played to the bot lane early game, which was exactly what they needed to happen. That was the win condition. It was get Sivir ahead, and I feel like he did a pretty good job with that. So, in my opinion, he deserves the MVP.
Sounds good. I do also want to mention Musho Gosu on the Morgana. So many roams to the mid lane. True. Not afraid of leaving the lane. 22 assists. But I do also, I'm going to give also 2 more also shout-outs. Also, because I keep saying also too many times. Experiment626 and Nuez, thank you for the hilarious wet noodle fight in both the bottom lane and then eventually, or the top lane and then eventually the bottom lane. It's pretty awesome to watch. Enjoyed it, even though it was a wet noodle fight. Ladies and gentlemen, we have your honorable mentions. They will be posted on the Discord. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with game number 2. This is your opportunity to get in. If you want to play in game number 2, use that exclamation point join to get a part of game number 2. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.